4 more words that we can learn, 4 more emotions that we can empathize to people who are not feeling positive, or like they feel like anxious during this time. So if you feel insignificant, whatever you do will be insignificant, but it is very important that you do it. Mahatma Gandhi. Whatever you do will be insignificant. Yeah, people forget whatever you're doing for a cause or contribute during this pandemic. You want to raise fund, like you have raised such a big amount and you donated to charity, but it could be insignificant 10 years from now. People forget, but it is very important that you do it. Doesn't mean that if you feel insignificant, you won't not do it at all. Just do what you think is right and is needful. In the right time, we will reap our harvest, our reward in heaven. And hear God say, "Thou good and faithful servant." Good job, like that. Guilty. Do you feel this feeling? No amount of guilt can solve the past, and no amount of anxiety can change the future. So no amount of guilt can solve the past. If you feel guilty, it doesn't solve anything. Rather, you ask for forgiveness if you know that you have done something wrong. Don't let the guilt linger, because it won't solve the past. And no amount of anxiety can change the future. So don't feel anxious, because it doesn't give any contribution to the future. Okay? So you've learned being, do you feel insignificant, guilty? And now let's learn what I skipped. Confused. Confusion is the welcome mat at the door of creativity. Michael Guilt. Confusion is the welcome mat at the door of creativity. If you feel confused, don't be rattled. Pause. Allow yourself to think. And you never know. Your confusion, the chaos that you experience, there is at the door is the mat, or is the foundation that can create something creative, or there's some beauty out of it. So just learn to pause, allow yourself to reflect and think. Then there will be clarity from the confusion that you are feeling. So don't linger too much or too long to your confusion. Allow something that, when you pause, when you quiet yourself, there's just clarity and there's direction, because we are made to listen, not just always like we talk and talk. When we quiet ourselves, we listen to the still small voice of our Creator. Yeah. So we already have 3, and last, do you feel helpless? What makes or breaks us ultimately is our attitude toward the things we can't control. Marty Rubin. Yes, what makes or breaks us ultimately is our attitude towards the things we cannot control. If you know that circumstances happen out of your control, like this COVID-19 pandemic, we cannot control it. Let's leave it to God. And just pray, right? Because everything, even the wind, the waves, nature, God is in control. Just be still and just focus on the things that you can control. So our attitude is very important in how we deal with things that we cannot control. So if you feel helpless on things that is out of your control, just let go and learn to just focus on what you know that you can contribute, that you can be mm, able to make a difference in things that you can control. And now, instead of being helpless, you become helpful and a blessing to others. Thank you. That's all for today. Actually, I just record bits by bits, so I can just upload anytime to be a blessing to others. Bye.